Hi guys, the first course of action for Tory ministers is to defend the government. If that involves throwing others, including civil servants, under a bus, they'll do that. And that was on display when Health Secretary Steve Barclay spoke to The Breakfast Show on Monday morning. So it appears that contractors working on the Bibby Stockholm were informed by Dorset Council about the discovery of legionella bacteria on board the vessel on Monday. But Steve suggests that government ministers didn't know until Thursday, which resulted in asylum seekers being removed after that. When pushed on why it took so long, he tries to dodge. Have a listen.
When did you know there was a risk of legionella on the barge? You've spoken about barges. On the Bibby Stockholm. When did you hear about that?
Well, ministers were made aware of that on Thursday evening, and obviously that's been discussed with the council in terms of the importance of that information coming across quicker. So ministers were aware on Thursday evening.
The question was not when ministers were aware. The question was when you knew. Now, maybe I'm being overly cynical here, but the question was, when did you know? Now, it's possible that he knew beforehand and ministers understood after. And I think this is probably what happened. The health secretary was informed, the Home Office was informed, and they decided to sit on it for a few days. Maybe it will all blow over. Let's find an alternative solution to this problem. And then they came up with nothing, so then they eventually informed all ministers of this problem, informed the press, and then moved the people off the barge. It's also interesting that the press was informed before the asylum seekers were informed. But I don't believe for a second that Steve Barclay, the Health Secretary, didn't know until Thursday. And once again, he was asked, when did you find out? And he started talking about ministers. He could have easily said, well, I discovered on Thursday. But he didn't. He was very clear about that.
Dorset Council say they told a Home Office contractor on Monday night.
Well, as Health Secretary, obviously, I wouldn't be cited on whether someone in the Home Office had been notified or not. But I know in terms of Home Office ministers, they were notified on Thursday evening and took action on a precautionary basis. But it is important that we
Don't you think that feels like quite a long time, though?
Well, as I say, this is a Home Office lead, but I know Home Office ministers were notified.
Health is your brief. You would know how dangerous legionella is.
Say again, sorry?
I'm saying health is your brief. You would know how dangerous legionella is and how important it is to act urgently in that situation. If a Home Office contractor knew on Monday night, do you think it's too long for then a minister to hear on Thursday?
Well, I absolutely recognise that it can be dangerous, and that's why...
The problem is not so much that it's dangerous, but why did it take so long? Like, of course, dodging the question here. Now, there's two possibilities. Either they didn't give a crap. Their priority was not the health and safety of the asylum seekers, and was more the health and safety of the Tory government. Or there's a massive breakdown in communication between the Health Secretary and the Home Secretary. Like Suella Braverman, when she heard this news, or Robert Jenrick or the Home Office, when they discovered this information, they should have communicated it immediately to Steve Barclay's department. Because these two things are intertwined, or they should be. Now, it's possible that there was no communication, and Steve here is trying to defend the government by, they didn't inform me, but I can't say that, because that'd be embarrassing. So just say, well, all ministers were informed later. Now, it's possible that there was no communication. I don't believe that. I believe that the Health Secretary was informed pretty soon, maybe not immediately, but at least a day later, and they decided to sit on this and hope that it just all blows over. Of course, which it didn't.
Precautionary measure, people were moved off the barge as soon as ministers were aware. No one people have had health assessments. There's been no concerns in terms of any of the people that have been on the barge. Checks have been followed up on that. But the steps were taken as a precautionary basis. It's right, therefore, that we have the checks. Those were done at the end of July. I know ministers in the Home Office were notified on Thursday evening and took precautionary measures as a result.
There's a report in the...
It's all about damage control. We messed up. So what we're going to do is say, well, we took the right action after we were informed, although it took a few days for us to be informed. So the discovery was on Monday. The Home Office was informed in some way on Monday night, and then action was taken on Thursday. So there's a window there where either there was no communication between the Home Office and the Health Department, or there was, and they decided not to do anything. I'll leave it up to you to decide. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.